Personal story segment tonight. While on the campaign trail in New Hampshire yesterday, Hillary Clinton held a roundtable for some vets. And Carly Fiorina, former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, came up.
I get laid off. There's 20,000 of us. We get laid off, right? She told us it was for cost cutting. A couple of months after we got laid off, 20,000 people, she bought 2 jets to fly executives around the country instead of using commercial aircraft. Every time I see her on TV, I want to reach through and strangle her. You know, I know that doesn't sound very nice, but... And
I wouldn't mess with you.
All right, today some are criticizing Mrs. Clinton for not scolding that man. Joining us from Carmel, Indiana, is Carly Fiorina. What do you think about that?
Well, first, I can understand why someone who is laid off might feel badly about it. It was a very tough time. I think he has his facts wrong about the 2 corporate jets, but I understand that he might be frustrated by that. It was a very tough time, and we had to make some tough calls to save 80,000 jobs. I think, you know, I don't take umbrage with him. I don't even take umbrage with Mrs. Clinton. I do take umbrage with the clear double standard that exists in the media. I mean, if this had happened with a conservative candidate, the liberal media would be all over us to correct him, to apologize, and all the rest of it.
It happened to you when, what was it, some guy said it was, the president was a Muslim or something, and you just kind of just blew him off. You didn't say anything. Didn't that happen to you?
Yes, it did. And what's interesting about that, you're exactly right, Bill, is I have corrected people many times before. I've said, actually, the president tells us he's a Christian, and I take him at his word. This was the one time because I didn't have a lot of time. And, of course, the media is all over it. So, you know, guess what? Newsflash. The media is biased. This isn't anything new, and we just have to deal with it, unfortunately.
Okay. I want to be fair, though. It was
obvious. It's not going to rattle me.
Right. I want to be fair because that's the kind of guy I am. This guy obviously was making a joke. He wasn't, you know, threatening you in any way, shape, or form.
It was As I said, I didn't take umbrage with him.
Look, I think it's 4 million hits a day say I'd like to go through the TV and strangle Oreilly. So we're very used to that here. Now, last night...
okay, I'm in good company then.
Yeah. I mean, we know what that is. Last night, it's hard for me as an analyst, and it must be 10 times more difficult for you as a candidate, to not talk when the questions are all swirling all around you. Because you guys, you know, you were in the middle of the pack as far as time was concerned. It was pretty good. I mean, the moderators try to get everybody in. But it's frustrating because for long periods of time, you don't say anything.
Well, that's the challenge of a debate. I mean, you have very substantive questions that you're being asked and that you need to answer in a substantive way for the American people. And those candidates who don't answer substantively, I think, don't advance their cause. On the other hand, it's also a live event, and so there are dynamics going on around you.
Yeah,
and truthfully, for the audience, I think it's more interesting when, you know, when people mix it up a little bit. So
I thought everybody
I find
did
that
pretty
format
well.
Challenging and interesting.
I thought everybody did pretty well last night. I didn't see any. I mean, look, as I said, talking points, Rand Paul, he doesn't see the urgency of the overseas terror threat, and I think it eliminates him in this time in history. And then John Kasich has run a very humanitarian Republican platform in an age of anger. I don't know if that's going to do him any good, but I thought everybody was fine last night. You didn't see anybody that was throwing up or anything behind the scenes, did you? It was pretty calm.
No, actually quite the opposite. And I have to say, I have to give Fox Business Network and the moderators great credit. They asked very substantive questions. They gave us enough time to answer them. And so I think everybody comported themselves. I was very pleased with the message that I was able to get across. And so we will continue to carry our message to the American people.
Would you say I'm being unfair if I say that you're a long shot to win the nomination? Would you say that was unfair?
Well, not at all. And a matter of fact, I'm less of a long shot now. But when I announced my candidacy on May 4th, not only was I 16 out of 16, but the polling companies didn't even ask my name when they called voters because I had such low name ID. Less than 4% of Republican primary voters had ever heard my name. Now I'm standing on a main debate stage. There is no other candidate that has this trajectory.
See, this is how I think it's going to come down for you. I don't think you're going to win the nomination, but I do think you're going to be Secretary of the Treasury. Alexander Hamilton was the first one there. I think you're going to get a cabinet position, maybe even a VP slot. I mean, that's how I see it, and I'm wrong all the time, Ms. Fiorina. Believe me, I'm, as a fact your audience knows, I'm not an oracle. But I see this age of anger here, and I see the four guys in front of you. I don't see them waning all that much. Last word.
Well, I would just say that I am the most qualified candidate to win this job against Hillary Clinton, and the most qualified candidate actually to do the job at a time when we need a president who understands the economy, who understands the world, who understands bureaucracies, how to cut them down to size, and understands technology. But I would say this, Bill, the pundits have been completely wrong about this election every step of the way. So if you're wrong this time, and I think you are, you're in very good company.
Well, if I am wrong, I will admit it. And you know what?
Well, it'll be clear.
I gotta say though, I think you've really waged a terrific campaign for somebody who was not well known, and I think you handle yourself there with terrific dignity. You're straightforward. I think you're an honest individual, and you're doing the best you can. That's all you can do.
And we're only getting started.
All right, Ms. Fiorina.
Only getting started.
You're always welcome here. Thank you.